My name is Paige. I'm 18 years old. Right after I graduated from middle school, I got a job at a certain factory, and I'm working full-time. My mother gave birth to me at an old age, and ever since then, her body has been weak. My father is retiring soon. That's why I decided that I would get a job as soon as possible to support them. However, our family gets along really well, and in my neighborhood, I also have a best friend named Nancy. We go out for coffee and shopping together sometimes. I am surrounded by wonderful people, and my life was peaceful and happy every day. Today, I had the day off of work, and so Nancy and I were out at a cafe and catching up together.
But really, Paige, you're amazing. After you graduated from middle school, you got a job and became a working adult.
No, but you're amazing. In order to take after your family's piano lesson business, that's why you chose the music university, right? How nostalgic. When I was a little girl, I think I was learning the piano from your mom.
You know, back then, my mom used to compliment your piano playing skills a lot, even though you're only 6 years old. She said that you were a genius that you could play that well.
I'm sure that's not the case.
But I can't believe it's already been 10 years since those days. We're going to be 20 years old soon. I can't imagine.
They say that once you pass the age of 20, time starts to move a lot faster.
I guess that means we'll be on the road to 30 in no time. 10 years from now, I wonder what we're going to be doing.
Maybe married with kids?
Married with kids, huh? Paige, do you ever think about wanting to get married?
Well, Steven and I have talked about wanting to get married. Steven was my classmate in middle school and my boyfriend. Unlike my family that was middle class, Steven's family was very wealthy. Sometimes he can be quite indecisive, but compared to the other boys our age, he was much more mature, and I fell in love with him. Our parents also got along well with each other, and they were always asking us when the two of us were going to get married. And so, Nancy and I were getting excited about the future at the cafe on a normal day. But then, a couple days later, I discovered that I was pregnant. We had always discussed that we would get married once Steven graduated from college, and so we were both shocked. However, when I told my parents that I was pregnant, they were so happy for us. My future father-in-law also said that he would provide the money, so we should have a grand wedding, and everybody was looking forward to our future. So I resigned from my company, and Steven dropped out of college and found a full-time job. Once his job was secured, we went and signed the marriage certificates. After that, we were given Steven's father's apartment to live in as husband and wife. Steven said, "I swear I'll make you the happiest woman, Paige." He said that looking into my eyes, full of love, and I was super happy. However, as the day of the wedding got closer and closer, I started to notice that Steven's behavior became more and more strange. Hey, Steven! The preparations for the wedding, can you at least help me a little bit?
What? Sorry. I'm not feeling that well, so I'm gonna go rest in the bedroom.
You're not feeling well? What's the matter, Steven? In the beginning, you used to help with the preparations for the wedding, but lately you haven't done anything at all to help. And even when we talk about the wedding, you just give me short answers.
Hey, Paige. I became a full-time working adult. I'm in an environment I'm not used to. Doing work I'm not used to. I'm exhausted. You can be a little bit more generous, don't you think?
Sure. Is it really just that he's tired? I can't help but to feel like he's just saying that to get out of it. That's how I felt, but at the same time, not only did Steven agree to marry me at 18, he had also quit college and gotten a job for it. If he didn't strongly feel like he wanted to get married to me, he probably wouldn't have been able to go that far. And so, that's why I decided not to complain any further to Steven. However, the incident happened about 2 weeks before the wedding. Suddenly, I got a phone call from a staff member at the wedding venue saying that they weren't able to get a hold of Steven on the phone, and so they were contacting his wife. Not only that, but they continued on to say, "I'm very sorry, in regards to the wedding cancellation fee that we spoke about earlier, there was an edit to be made." When she said that, I was shocked. To my disbelief, Steven had called the wedding venue and made an inquiry about how much it would cost to cancel the wedding. I immediately grabbed my phone, and even though I knew he was at work, I messaged him to call me immediately when he could find the time. And then, an hour later, he must have gone into his lunch break because I finally got a phone call from Steven.
Hello, Paige? What's the matter? Why do I need to call you?
Hello? Hey, listen, you called the wedding venue today and you asked them how much it would cost if we were to cancel the wedding, didn't you? What on earth is going on here? On the other line of the phone, I yelled that at him, and then...
Hey, Paige, please, calm down.
How can I possibly calm down in this situation? Does this mean that you don't want to have a wedding with me?
No, it was just out of curiosity.
Huh? What do you mean, curiosity?
I really do feel like I want to get married to you from the bottom of my heart, okay? That's why I quit school, and that's why I got a job.
Well, that's true, but...
You have to believe me. You're the only person that I truly love, Paige.
I was so shocked that at that time, I had a really hard time believing in Steven then. However, after that, Steven became even more thoughtful towards my body that was pregnant. And he also became more proactive about preparing for the wedding. Every day must have been difficult for him in a new workplace, but he also did his best to help with the chores around the house. When I saw him like this, I was finally able to start feeling comfortable about the wedding. However, I still wasn't able to fully get rid of the uneasy feeling inside of me, and that's how I felt when the day of the wedding arrived. The day before the wedding, Steven and I were both staying with our respective parents. That's why we also headed towards the wedding venue separately, but even though it was past the planned time to meet, Steven wasn't showing up. Even though I called him, he wasn't answering. And then 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, time just kept passing. Wait a minute, could it be that he was in some kind of accident? I was so worried that I couldn't stand still, so this time I decided to call my father-in-law. When I told him that Steven didn't arrive at the wedding venue, his father told me that Steven left the house on time to arrive on time, and so he said that if we waited another hour and he didn't show up, that we should go to the police and file a report. So I hung up the phone and I prayed that nothing happened to him. I let the wedding staff help me get dressed. Then, at that moment, I received a phone call from Steven. Hello? Steven? Where are you right now?
Hello, Paige? You know what? I'm actually not gonna do the wedding today.
Huh? When he suddenly said that to me, my mind went completely blank. What did he just say?
Look, both of my parents really like you, and you're really good at cooking. And I thought that if we were going to be a married couple, then you'd be better, but I wasn't sure until the very last moment whether to attend the wedding or not, and I've been going back and forth and was really torn about it, but...
I would be better?
Actually, I have a girlfriend that I'm with right now, and not that long ago, she told me that she wanted to get married to me.
A girlfriend?
And then, that was an opportunity for me to really rethink a lot of things, and I realized that maybe it wouldn't be so bad to be with my girlfriend. And that's why I asked the wedding venue once how much it would cost to cancel the wedding.
What are you saying? None of this makes any sense.
But then I thought, actually, if I'm gonna get married, and maybe you were better? But you know what? I pictured it. At the wedding, when the officiant says, "Will you swear to love Paige, and only Paige till death do us part?" When they ask me that, I don't think that I would be able to say yes. And that was when I finally realized that the person that I love is actually my girlfriend.
What? Is that...
I met my girlfriend at my current workplace. And you know what? The first day that we met, we fell in love at first sight. This must be fate, right?
Huh? What is this? Has your brain turned into a field of flowers? You haven't forgotten, have you? That inside of me, I have your child.
About that. First of all, a shotgun wedding is way too heavy, so we're canceling the wedding.
Heavy? You say?
Second of all, the reason why I got a job was because all of the friends that I made in college were all childish guys, and they were boring, and it became a pain to go to college, that's all. And then my parents got all excited about me getting married to you. So I just went with the flow and signed the marriage certificate. But third of all, nobody ever really asked me how I felt about it, did they? Don't you think that's awful?
Huh? Wait a minute, you bastard! How dare you! When we signed the marriage certificates, you told me that you were gonna make me the happiest woman alive, with sparkles in your eyes! And just because you've had a change of heart to your mistress, don't change your memory so that it suits your story! By that time, I had already surpassed the feelings of sadness or shock. My heart was only full of one color only, and that was anger towards Steven. I didn't say another word and hung up the phone. And then I informed the wedding venue staff that I would like for them to cancel the wedding. And then I called my father-in-law and I told him everything over the phone. And of course, my father-in-law was over his head with anger towards Steven. After that, both of my in-laws came to me and my parents, and they got down on their knees to apologize to us. And then they made Steven pay an extremely high settlement fee towards us. My father-in-law also helped me to arrange the collection of a settlement fee from his mistress. And then he told me that they disowned Steven as well. And then on top of that, my father-in-law also made a certain promise to me. And this promise was going to become the secret ingredient to make Steven suffer immensely. And at that time, my heart truly felt relieved. Well, then, a few months after Steven didn't show up to the wedding and left me at the altar, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. I was living at home with my parents, and with their help, I was raising my daughter. I went back to the factory that I used to be working at before, and I asked them to please hire me again, which they did. However, just before my daughter was about to go to elementary school, due to some reasons, we ended up moving. And that's why, on that day, I was back in my hometown for the first time in a while, but...
Oh, Paige!
I heard a familiar voice call my name, and when I turned over, there was a guy in torn-up clothing, full of white hair, who was calling my name and came running over to me. What? Do I know you?
It's me! It's Steven! It's me, Steven!
What? Steven? He had aged so much that I didn't recognize him at first. But also, it's amazing that he can just speak out to me as though nothing had happened. I didn't know how to respond, and I stood there in silence. Steven said,
Thank goodness. I knew that you might be here. I didn't think that my dad was going to die. I was shocked.
That's right. Today was actually the funeral for my former father-in-law who passed away due to illness. Even though my former in-laws had disowned Steven and cut off all ties with him, I had been told by my former mother-in-law that she should at least inform him that his father passed away. But also, I really don't want to talk to this guy at all. I didn't say a word, and I tried to leave and get away from Steven, but at that moment...
More importantly, where's the kid? Let me see the kid! Are they in this town? They must be in preschool now. No, elementary school. Where are they?
He seemed so desperate about it that I almost took a few steps back from the pressure he was applying to me. But then, reluctantly, I said, Huh? You know they're not here? Not in this town, I replied.
Not here? Well then, where are they? I want to see them! Let me see my kid! But no, wait, please, start over with me, Paige!
And this time, Steven crumbled on the spot and started to cry. Come on, what the hell is this guy saying? Not only did he not show up on the day of the wedding, he did such a horrible thing to me, and then said that a shotgun wedding was too heavy. He was the one that said all of that. There's no way I would start over with him. How disgusting! And my daughter, unless she requested herself, there's no way I was ever letting him meet her. In front of Steven, I stood my ground. Look, what do you want now? I'm not going to start over. I have no intention of letting you see my daughter either. Because we're strangers now. I don't know you anymore. Don't ever speak to me again.
I'm in debt with a really large amount, too.
Huh?
And in my dad's will, he wrote that he wasn't going to leave me one penny, and instead, He would be giving it all to the grandchild! That bastard!
I see, so that's what happened. That's right, actually. My former father-in-law had previously told me that I won't be giving any of my assets to Steven. I'm going to give it all to the baby that's inside of you right now, Paige. And that was the promise he made to me.
A few years ago, I was victim in the company restructure. I did find a new company to work at, but they're so horrible to their employees. But you know, I grew up under my father who was rich, so I don't know how to save money. So I'm just going further and further into debt. After I got a divorce from you, I did get married to that girlfriend, but she also spends money recklessly. And when I stopped giving her any money, before I knew it, she was borrowing money from the black market. So recently, she and I got divorced. But I heard every day that she's being chased around by debt collectors and that she's living a terrible life. This time, I'm gonna end up like her. But you know how my dad was rich, right? As long as I could get the money that was supposed to go to my kid, I'm gonna be able to survive. Please let me see my kid and start over with me, Paige.
Amazing how you can talk that much. He must be pretty desperate, this guy. But even still, well, I had no idea that this turn of events was waiting for me. It's way too amusing. But also, he went into debt due to his own actions, so he needs to figure it out himself. After I let out a big sigh, I said this earlier before, but I'm definitely not going to start over with you, and I'm not going to let you see my child. I stood my ground. However,
Even though I'm begging this much, don't you know that I'm at the edge of the cliff?
oh dear, why is he angry now? That's why I had one last thing to say. Well, first of all, both of those aren't possible anyway.
Why would it be impossible?
My child isn't in the town over or in this town either. Actually, she's not even in this country. And also, I've gotten remarried already.
What did you say?
When my daughter was 3 years old, we went over to my friend Nancy's house together to play, and I let her play on the piano. But then, Nancy's mother, who has been a piano teacher for years, was so shocked she nearly fell over. And she said that this little girl was a super genius.
Huh?
And then, Nancy's mother, the piano teacher, told me that she should be learning piano in the country that is the birthplace of classical music. And so, she gathered the help of all kinds of teacher friends that lived overseas. And my husband, my daughter, and I, the three of us are happily living overseas. My husband, of course, being the man that I remarried.
No way. Well then what? What's gonna happen to me?
Who knows? Anyway, I don't have anything else to say to you. Goodbye. Good luck with the rest of your life.
Wait, please! Paige!
Just as Steven tried to lunge forward at me, my former mother-in-law appeared and she blocked him. And then she yelled to Steven, "I told you not to come to the funeral! Leave!" When she said that, Steven crumbled into tears and I could see his soul leaving his body out of the top of his head. After that, just as he predicted himself, Steven was left running away from the debt collectors. And eventually, he was caught and I heard he's having to work morning through night while getting seasick. Apparently, he's not even being treated like a human. The living conditions he's been given, the holes are full of walls, full of bugs, and it's a small storage room. I can imagine he's aged even more than what I saw him for the first time in years in front of the funeral home. He probably won't be able to have a decent life for the rest of his life. Well, then, on the other hand for me, with my daughter and my husband, the three of us are living a peaceful life together in Germany. I've totally gotten used to the culture and the language by now, and my daughter seems to love playing the piano. Life is nothing less than peaceful and happiness. That reminds me, every now and then, I speak to my friend Nancy, who is still in Japan, over the phone. And just the other day, "Oh, hello, Paige? Hello, Nancy? How have you been?" "Yeah, I'm good. After I graduated from college, I am teaching at the piano school as usual. What about you, Paige? How are you?" "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Must be nice to be in Germany. Not only that, your daughter is a piano genius, and your husband is the former manager of a factory, and such a handsome gentleman. I know a lot happened to you in the past, Paige, but you seem so happy these days. When I think about that, oh, what is this?" Suddenly tears. Hey, you can't just cry out of nowhere.
But also, Nancy, you have to come visit us sometime. What? I definitely want to go. I can't wait to drink all the local German beer. Oh, come on. Beer, is that what you're most excited about? Well, when that day comes, I can't wait to cheers with you.
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!